everyone, it's Chelsea from Paper Octio Studio, and today I'm sharing with you the prompt Greek from the hashtag November Daily Art Journal 30-Day Art Journaling Challenge. My idea for Greek is to do a page about Athena, who is the Greek goddess of wisdom and courage and arts and crafts, and of course just warfare and law and justice, civilization. You know, she's got a lot on her plate. So that's what my page is going to be about. I'm starting with this page opposite my steampunk mermaid, and I want to calm it down a bit and make it, I don't know, more old style looking with like a parchment type color. So I'm using Titan Buff and then a little bit of this light aqua blended in just because I like the color to try to chill out this page a little bit. And I'm using my, what is it, 3x5 rectangular jelly plate. And when I put it in the center like that with just the pure Titan Buff, I realized how it makes a really cool frame, and I decided that I was going to frame my illustration. I'm just going to make an illustration. And I thought it would be cool to put it in that lighter square and then draw a frame around it. So I'm just using my straight edge and putting it to the edge of the page and then drawing a line so that I can make it exactly in the center. It looks a little bit off because the book is curved, so it is actually exactly in the center. It's just looks narrow on that one side because of the way the page is laying. So once I'm sure that it's all centered, then I get out my 1.5 millimeter artist brush pen from my narration pen set that's from Faber-Castell that I use for, did I say narration? I meant illustration. Yeah, I don't know. I am narrating right now, but I meant illustrating, whatever. Okay, so then I draw an extra frame, and I'm not measuring, as you can see. That's just eyeballing it, so if it's a little bit off, I don't really care. So that's going to be my frame, and I'm gonna try to put a Greek border design in it, and I do end up doing that. It's not that great, but those things are hard to draw, and I'm not a Zentangler or someone who draws perfect little things like that. So anyway, it turned out okay. So then I'm using my mechanical pencil with the 2B soft graphite to draw Athena, and I'm going to speed that up. It's kind of hard to see what I'm doing, but I'm drawing her in armor and a toga with a helmet, with a spear, with a shield, and then she of course has her owl, which represents wisdom, with her. And so I'm just drawing. I'm just illustrating, and then I'll go over that with the black pen. I seem to be getting better and better at drawing as time goes on, and I just know that's from practice. So for all of those of you who leave comments saying something like, oh, I wish I could draw, or I just can't draw, or any of those type of things, please just get a pencil and try. That's all I'm saying. Try. And if you keep trying, you will eventually get to something that you don't hate. In this particular art journal, the second page in here, I'm going to leave it, but I absolutely loathe the drawing. It is horrible, and I'm going to leave it because I want a record of just how bad I was when I started. Because that's probably like a year and a half ago that I made that page, and when I finish up this book, I'll do a flip so that you can see all the different pages in it, although you might have seen a lot of them. But yeah, that first page is horrible. Horrible. So here's my little pitch. Get a pencil, get some scratch paper, just start to draw stuff. Look at things and try to imitate the way the lines are. You know, it's not that hard. It's just figuring out a connection between your hand and your brain. and you have to work on it. You have to practice just like anything else. Practice that connection so that you can make it. And you'll get there. I promise you'll get there. My drawing's still not where I want it to be, but I don't hate it as much as I used to. Amazingly. So now I'm using my illustration pens. These are the India ink pens. That set has a lot of different size nibs, and I'm using the size small to begin with to go over all my pencil lines, kind of correcting as I go if I see something that I didn't think was right. And then when I'm done drawing all the lines in with the small bullet, then I'm going to go in with a medium bullet and do some of the outside lines to make the illustration more dynamic. So there it is done. And now it's time to color. So what should I color with? Oh, first I wanted to kind of fix the rectangle up at the top. It wasn't quite big enough, so I just used some finger paint and my Titan Buff to just fill that in a little bit. No big deal. Some finger painting is always good. But yeah, I want to color, and so I decide, since I'm doing skin tone, that I'm going to use my Neocolor 2 crayons. Get those out. And then what I'm going to be blending with is matte and medium, and that's the liquid matte medium. You know, a lot of my collaging that you watch, I use a gel matte medium. This one is the liquid format. And instead of using water on my brush, I'm dipping it into the matte medium. But then I realized I don't want to get matte medium on my crayon because it might make it hard where I get matte medium on it. So then I'm just drawing real hard the crayon onto my little scratch deli paper and then using it kind of like a palette. And then that way I'm not potentially messing up my crayon by getting a bunch of matte medium all over the tip. Not sure that it would make a difference, but it might. It might seal it, and then I would have a problem and I'd have to, you know, scrape it off or something. So I start with a lighter color, and then I'm just going through and adding shadows, darker and darker and darker colors. The first one I think is probably apricot, and then I go to ochre, and then I go to this terracotta one. Just trying out different colors, adding shadows to her body to try to make it look more dimensional. This drawing is really tiny though. So the face in particular, I can't really get the detail in it that I would like to have because I can't see it. It's just too tiny, too tiny. But it works for what it is. If you compare, you can see my steampunk mermaid on the other side, which is not a large drawing. And then you see how big Athena is here, and you're like, huh, that really is small. Believe me, that face is tiny. So then I move on to the hair, and that's just with some black, the black crayon. I love these crayons. They're great. So then I get out some of the DecoArt Media Fluid Acrylic, which is intensely pigmented acrylic, and I'm using the titanium white. And this is a very opaque paint because it has so much pigment in it. So it really covers, and I'm just doing her toga underneath the armor. It must tuck underneath the armor. And then just a few other little white details here and there. And then that's PBO gold, shimmery gold paint. So I'm trying to make metallic gold armor. Because she's a goddess, she wouldn't have like just boring old iron armor or something. She would have gold, obviously. She can probably invent it in her sleep. So, yeah. I keep yawning. I must be tired. So then I'm going back to the skin, and it's bothering me that the skin tone that I created is so close to the color of the gold because it has a lot of that ochre in it. And I decide maybe she's a different color. So I'm changing the skin tones to a lighter, more kind of a dusky. I've added some brown, and then I've put white with it and made more of like a dusky skin tone. I don't know anyone who is Greek in real life. Well, actually, I do. I do. The coach from the soccer team, Olympiacos, he's actually Greek. Huh. But he's got gray hair, so I don't know if he was like. I just have this image that people who are Greek have dark hair, like black hair, and have more dusky skin, not real pale. I don't know. Huh. I'll have to look at him next time. So if I've got the skin tones wrong, I'm sorry. So then here is a mess up. I decided to heat set that so that I could continue putting layers on. Got a great big bubble on her face, tried to peck it off, and guess what happened? I tore the frickin' page. So then I had to go and redo the whole thing. So I just cut that part out because who wants to watch me do the whole thing all over again? I was mad though. Man. Like, really? Yeah. So don't do that, people. Don't bubble your paper and then try to peel it off and then get a big tear mark across your page. But you can't even tell now. I fixed it. But I had to go back in and do more tight and buff, and then I had to let that dry. Didn't want to heat set it because I was worried, so then I let it dry naturally. Then I had to go back in and draw all the lines, and then I had to go back in and paint it. So anyway, it worked out fine. So then I'm going back over again with the pen in any place where I've made the paint go over the black line and it's not dark anymore. I go in and just touch those areas up, and touching up the line around again because I finger painted over it, so making it dark again. So then I go to write Athena. I know which one is my favorite goddess. I know what she's the goddess of, and I write Artemis. Yeah, this is just, this day, just not going my way. It's just not. But I fix it. I can fix anything. So actually, because that pen was over the acrylic paint, it took it a long time to dry anyway, so I was able to really just kind of wipe most of that off, leave the A, and then write it over again. So I did. I don't know why I wrote Artemis. She's not the right one. She does hunting. I'm not into hunting. I don't know. And I didn't even notice until I showed it to my kid, Mr. History, I call him. And he's like, Artemis doesn't have an owl, Mom. I'm like, oh, geez, come on. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I think I'm done. Give it a thumbs up if you want to. All that stuff. Go visit my other friends' videos. Links below. And that's it for me. Thanks. Bye-bye.